Hi, welcome again to another episode of Lawson Woods, Pacific Northwest. I'm Lawrence, the host. Today, we're going to talk about the trees that are on the property and give you a little insight to some of the trees and bushes and how long they can live and things of that nature. So, hope you stay tuned. All right, well, thanks for joining me again, and here we are. The first tree that I'm going to feature today in Lawson Woods is the oldest or potentially oldest tree on the property, and this is a Douglas fir. And Douglas firs can live to be over 800 years old. And this particular Douglas fir is roughly 600 to 800 years old. It's very large, hard to show on film, but it takes about 3 or 4 of me to reach around it. So that's our first one, Douglas fir, the grand poobah of Lawson Woods. All right, here's the next one. This is the western red cedar. Western red cedars can live to be upwards of 1,500 years old. This one here, it's also very large. It's been through a fire, as you can see, too, like several of the other trees here. And I'm not sure exactly how old this one is, but based on the size of it, I would guess it is around 500 years old. 300 to 500, maybe older. Might be a lot older. Western red cedar. Alright, welcome back again. Now this one I'm showing you is called the beaked hazelnut. And the beaked hazelnut tree can live to be 30 to 40 years old and can produce hazelnuts. And I have a few of these on the property in various stages. Beaked hazelnut. Alright, and this beauty here is called the red huckleberry. And I'll tell you what, it makes phenomenal fruit to munch on in the summer months if you can get it before the birds do. And look at there. Got some that are just growing in now. Red huckleberry. I don't know how long the plant lives to be, but I'm assuming it's several years. And thankfully we have several of them on the property. Red huckleberry with huckleberry berries. Yeah, baby. Alright, and here we are again. These are called sword ferns. And sword ferns can live to be 1,500 years old or older. When I say Lawson Woods is a magical place, it really is a magical place. There are sword ferns here that have got to be up near at least 1,000 years old, and they're all over. So I was told by a dear friend of mine, Michaeline, said that the larger that the fern leaves are, the older that that particular plant is. You can see how broad these are. Up to 1,500 years old. Sword ferns. Beautiful. And these here are called bracken ferns. Bracken ferns can live to be up to 1,000 years old as well. And each year these die off and come back every year. So it must be the root that they're referring to that can live that long, at least in this climate. Beautiful bracken ferns. Alright, this beauty here is called the Sitka spruce. And although this is a young'un, the Sitka spruce can live up to 800 years old. Well, as you can see, Lawson Woods has a lot of variety here as far as its natural flora and fauna. And so now I'm going to take you to the other side and share the rest of the trees that are native to this area, or at least native within the last 2,000 years. All right, so welcome back, and we're on the other side of the property now, right across from where the tiny house is. And this is the other side of our property. You can see the garden here coming into a beautiful fruition. And here in the garden, see a lot of things going on. It's mostly a lettuce garden at this moment, an herb garden, but that's okay. We've got a lot of other things going on too. All right, so this one here is one that I planted called a Chinese chestnut tree. So we have two different types of chestnuts on the property. One that's natural to this area, and this one which has been planted here. Chinese chestnuts tend to do well here in the United States. They don't seem to get the disease that wiped out many of the other chestnut trees, which is really nice. All right, we're back again. This is a red leaf maple. Japanese red leaf maple. I have two of them on the property. These are not native to here, but that's okay. Not all the plants are. This is another one here. And this is called a golden mop. And I think it's just darling. And some lavender here. Made it through the previous 2 years and is still thriving. And a lot of other little shrubs, and unfortunately I can't remember their names. That's okay. Now in the rest of the garden here I have a pear tree right here, as you can see. And then I have two cherry trees. That make up part of the food forest or food garden here in Lawson Woods. You can just see that they're blossoming now. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, let me just take you down for a little walk along the new path. That's not really a new path, but the new border at least. We've made a natural border with the fence, and I'll be adding more to it as well, which you can kind of see here. Again, we're so lucky to have so many beautiful big western red cedars here. Ancient trees, many of them are. Very ancient. And these are Leland spruce or Leland cypress, something like that. These are not native to here. I've had to move them like 3 times in the last year, unfortunately. So hopefully they'll come back and make it. All right. Here's another beauty, although it's not mine technically. Maybe it is. It's real close to the edge of the property line. Actually, most of the tree falls over my property, so I guess we'll have to see on that one. And that's another beautiful old growth tree. But again, not technically mine. All right, and these are holly trees and holly bushes. If I scroll in real close, you can see the leaves, how beautiful they are. And holly trees or holly bushes can live to be upwards of 300 years old. And I have several on the property. Some of them are right here at the edge. And part of me feels like a schmuck because I actually cut them back when I first moved here, not knowing about them and their importance and signification of the health of the land here. So, but live and learn. All right, so bear with me as I stumble down the hill to try to show you the rest of the trees and flora and fauna here at Lawson Woods before the creek that, inlet rather, before it drops off. So you can only go so far, but at least you can see the trail that is here. It's a deer trail, which I've cleared out a little bit, but oh, look at that. Oh, would you look at that? Look at the berries here on the holly tree. And you can see some of these beautiful old growth western red cedars. I can't even explain how big these are. It would not make sense. I am so lucky to be the caretaker of this beautiful, beautiful land. I am beyond lucky. And I thank my lucky stars every day. Alright. So finally, the last tree that I was going to show you here today is the Canadian maple. And this one I called the Three Sisters. So it's growing out of one big tree trunk, but turns into three. So the Three Sisters. So it's been stated that the Canadian maple can live to be around 150 years old or older. And if you've never seen the leaves, it's just now summer here. Or Beltanine, and the leaves are still really growing. So, all right, well, I'm really glad I got to show you some of these big, beautiful, old growth trees here on the property. The beach is down there, and way down there. But I sure appreciate you joining us today here in Lawson Woods. There are many other things that were not noted, and many other species that were not noted today, as far as different types of berries. There are salmon berries, there are salam berries, and many other trees and bush that I'm not familiar with. But I hope this gives you a little insight of the beauty of Lawson Woods, why I've fallen in love with this area, and hope to remain here and protect it as long as I am able to. So, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for next time. Next week, the septic people are coming. We're going to have the septic field installed. And of course, I'll be shooting the video of that too. So for now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Ciao for now.